So I'm Jack, I'm Patrick's brother. Just want to start and say, first of all, I'm so excited to be here today. I know my whole family is excited to be here. I've just really been looking forward to this day for a very long time. And I also feel very honored to be able to say a few kind words about Patrick and Caroline. And, a lot of times when people first meet me for the first time and they learn that I'm a brother, they always ask me, that's great. Are you close with your brother? To which I always reply, yes. He's been my best friend for my entire life. And because Patrick has been my best friend for my entire life, and because we grew up together, went to grade school together, went to high school together, went to college together, lived together in Chicago after college for 2 years, and overlapped at the University of Michigan in grad school for a year. I know my brother really, really well. And today what I want to do is just relay a couple of things that I know about my brother Patrick. The first thing that I know is he's one of the most hardworking and disciplined people you could ever meet. So, all of you know Patrick as a lawyer or a great marathon runner. And while all of this is true, it hasn't always been true. Right? I recall very, very vividly a conversation I had with Patrick. I was a senior in college. He was coming back to visit. He had been working in New York about a year and a half. And I could tell something was up. Things weren't quite right. And, I asked him what's going on. He said, well, I don't really love what I'm doing right now. And I don't, I've fallen back in love with running, but I want to get better at it. However, I do have two goals. What I want to do is I want to have the best LSAT score I can possibly have, and the best law school I can be a lawyer. That is my first goal. And my second goal is I want to be the best marathon runner I can possibly be. And I said, that's great, but there's a saying in my family, you can wish in one hand and have nothing in the other. It's the same thing, right? Unless you apply yourself, you'll never get anywhere. Unless you apply yourself with discipline, you will never get anywhere. So I graduated college, and the third thing Patrick told me is moving to Chicago. I thought, well, if you've got on, I've got a roommate now. Because obviously we're going to live together. So he moves to Chicago, we move in together. And what I see from my brother is him living day to day in such a disciplined way that he knows that he's going to be able to achieve his goals because he's putting himself forward. His day to day, sometimes with my protests, I wanted to kind of relax a little bit sometimes and couldn't really do it. So he woke up every morning. He would pack his work clothes in a 1-gallon plastic bag, put them into a neon green running backpack, and run 7 miles to work. Work all day, pack his clothes back in this little plastic bag, put them back in his green backpack, and run 7 miles home. And when he got home, he would make dinner, clean up, and then study for the LSAT for 2 to 3 hours every single night. And I think my brother is really the embodification of someone who achieves what he wants to achieve because he works so hard and is disciplined every single day to do it. That's the first thing I know about my brother. The second thing I know is he's probably one of the most formal people you can possibly meet. Formal and proper. So, a lot of my friends from business school have met Patrick and have spent more time with Patrick. And I swear to God, more than one, multiple have come up to me and genuinely asked me, does your brother own a t-shirt? And I haven't seen one all week, so the jury is still out. One of the favorite texts I've gotten from Caroline is, she was riding with Patrick to take the bar exam. And all I get is a photo of him walking in to take the bar exam, dressed impeccably. And the caption says, best dressed man taking the bar. And he was. This is who he is. And the thing about him is he is so himself, right? When he moved to Chicago, and after law school, he got his first apartment by himself. It was a beautiful place. It's a high-rise building. It's very nice. It's brand new. And I asked him, this is wonderful. How are you going to decorate it? He said, well, the theme I'm going for is Scottish hunting lodge. And I think to myself, I look around and, the way that my girlfriend describes this place is it's like a fishbowl, right? It's surrounded by windows. And then I finally walk in and it's dark wood and tartan everywhere. I'm like, what's going on? Where is the outlet on the wall? But that's just who my brother is. He's so himself, right? He's very comfortable with who he is. And the last thing I know about my brother that I'm going to share today, because I know plenty more, is that he is one of the most kind, caring, considerate, and protective of the ones that he loves of anyone he could possibly meet. So when I think about my brother being kind and protective, I think about the time that he was at a youth basketball. So he's in like 4th or 5th grade, right? It's probably like 10, 11 years old. And, I am there, my mother is there, and he's playing the game. I, for some reason, had gone to the concession stand, gotten something, and was running up the stairs. And anyone who saw me yesterday knows I'm not great at stairs. It's not. Got it done today, though. And so I fall and hit my head on the stairs, cause a big commotion. And my brother, who's playing the game at like 11 years old, sees what's going on. And immediately calls timeout. He stops the game, runs to the referee, gives him the ball, and runs up the stairs and says, "Jack, are you okay?" And seeing that I'm fine, he runs back down the stairs, gets the ball back from the referee, calls timeout, and keeps playing. And I think about that all the time, right? Because he's 10 years old. He has the presence of mind to see me up in the grandstands, see that I'm possibly injured. And his immediate snap reaction is to go check on me. Because he knows that someone that he cares about, that he loves, might be in trouble. Okay? Now, the last thing that I know about Patrick is that he loves Caroline more than anyone in the world. And I know this because I've seen it. And I've seen it from the very beginning. For those of you who don't know, I was actually there the moment Patrick and Caroline met. So, it was the Junior League Gala. I told Patrick, there's this fundraiser that you can come to. He said, whatever. I told him, well, it's black tie. He's like, oh, I'm there. And so he goes. And we're out on the dance floor. And Patrick and Caroline meet, and they hit it off immediately. And ever since that moment, right, it's been so obvious that Patrick liked Caroline, and then loved Caroline, and then couldn't spend, too much time without Caroline. And so Caroline, I can't tell you how excited he was first to ask you out properly. He didn't get her number that night, so he DM her. He didn't have to kind of trick that up. And, I can't tell you how excited he was that once he got back to Michigan, he wanted to come back to Chicago and see you and spend time with you. And I can't tell you how much his face lights up every time he talks about building the future with you. And I can't tell all of you how excited I am for my brother's future because he gets to spend it with someone as wonderful as Caroline. Over the last couple of years, I've gotten to know Caroline. And a few things that really stuck out about her to me. The first thing is how much poise and grace she shows really in every environment. Right? When I met Caroline, it was a black tie gala. And then, I saw her a couple of times over the summer as they were dating. And then really next time I spent a lot of time with Caroline, she came back to Michigan to visit Patrick. And one of the things that they were going to do is come visit the NBA student tailgate. And I was a little worried about that, because it's a little different from the black tie event. But Caroline shows up in a Michigan shirt that just has hail on the front of it. And immediately starts talking with all of my friends, and I thought, wow, I'm so impressed by how comfortable she feels in all of these environments. And so that's something that I really admire about Caroline. And, additionally, I admire that, and I also admire just how thoughtful Caroline is. So there have been so many times where, when I was in school or I was coming to Chicago, I've gotten such nice texts from Caroline of, oh, I hope recruiting is going well. I hope you're enjoying your time in school. And we can't wait, Patrick and I, for you to get to Chicago to be able to live closer to us. So what I have to basically say in conclusion is, I think it's rare that you get such wonderful people be able to meet each other and fall in love with each other and build a future together with each other. So I just want everyone to raise their glass to Patrick and Caroline. We wish you the best of the future and love together.